Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. But if you're new here, my name's Tyler and I just do consistent content on all things related hockey in the NHL overall. And as you can see, I'm wearing my glasses. Normally don't wear them for videos, but a trade did happen. Really caught the surprise of a lot of people in the NHL community, even the likes of Elliot Friedman, because this is one of those deals where the trade breaks out before any of the insiders get to it. And while it isn't a overwhelming trade by any means, it is still one to discuss, and the opportunity presented itself, so here we are. Olli Maatta, the defenseman playing for the Chicago Blackhawks, just 1 year removed after being dealt in the Dominic Kubalik deal with the Pittsburgh Penguins, in which Kubalik was since dealt to the Buffalo Sabres as well. Olli Maatta is being shipped off again from the Blackhawks, but this time to their rival in the LA Kings, and this was nothing more than a salary dump. So that's what I'll be discussing you today. Just a breakdown of this trade pretty quick, my thoughts on it, who I think won in this deal, and what can be expected in the NHL offseason going forward. But Olli Maatta, of course, 26 years of age, was originally drafted in the first round back in 2012 by the Pittsburgh Penguins, and he won back-to-back Stanley Cups with the Penguins, so very impressive there. He was solid with the Penguins, of course, but his defensive game isn't anything stellar. We all know this. Olli Maatta is more of a back-pairing defenseman, being on that really on, say, a skill depth team. He's definitely on the bottom pair of defense for the most part. But now he's coming into the LA Kings, where their left side is nothing stellar, as we all know. They have gaping holes on that defensive front. Ben Hutton has arguably been their best left-handed defenseman right there. So now you bring Olli Maatta in the mix, and he is definitely going to get plenty of playing time, even with the Blackhawks having their own defensive issues. They want to free up some cap space, and Maatta currently does have a cap hit just over $4 million for another 2 years. So that was a huge factor into this. Of course, they would like to free up some cap space. They're in this retool stage when it comes to the Blackhawks, so it'll be interesting to see how they dress this offseason, because they don't have a lot of cap space to work with as it is. But nonetheless, this made a lot of sense for both sides. LA Kings, they get offered to basically do a salary dump, and all they have to ship back is Brad Morrison, who is a strict mainstay in the AHL and even ECHL. That's where he played this past season. But going on to Maatta more, in 65 game plays with the Blackhawks this past season, he had 17 points, including 4 goals and 13 assists, and had 14 points a year prior with the Penguins. But he has had 2 seasons at least with roughly 30 points, 29 points to be exact, in the 2014-15 season, and the 17 and 18 season, both with the Pittsburgh Penguins. So Maatta is a solid defenseman to a defenseman that can contribute offensively, especially for a team that is looking for it, that doesn't have a lot of other options. He's coming in the LA Kings, and yes, the cap hit isn't stellar by any means, but assuming that they keep in, that automatically upgrades their defense when you really look at things, because they aren't deep, as I mentioned. They have some solid players on the defense, obviously led by Drew Doughty for the past decade, no question. But outside of that, there isn't much there. Sean Walker's solid. I liked him the last season, but Ben Hutton has been okay at times, but nothing stellar. So Olli Maatta, perfect sense to go to the LA Kings here. We'll get plenty of playing time. I expect him to thrive there with a team that is really in this more retool/rebuild stage. And who knows, they very well could be competing within the next couple of years, but time will tell on that front. But from the Chicago Blackhawks side of things, they get Brad Morrison, was originally drafted in the 4th round back in 2015 by the New York Rangers, my favorite team. Really, he didn't play any games with them and hasn't been an NHL player at all through his career. He's 23 years of age, centerman, left-handed shot, and he played in the ECHL this past year in the LA Kings organization, and he had 19 points in 17 games, so that's not bad. But the year prior, I believe he played around 50 games with the Ontario Reign, which is the Canes AHL team, I believe, and he had only 20 points. So I'm not sure what the future holds for him. This was only his 2nd year pro, I believe, after being removed from playing in the WHL for quite some time. So we'll see what happens there. But Morrison was just simply an asset thrown in to make this deal happen as a salary dump basis. So overall, great move for the LA Kings. They get a defenseman that will easily help their lineup. And while it may take some cap away, the Chicago Blackhawks are retaining right around $750K at that just over $4 million cap hit for another 2 years. So Blackhawks retain some salary, even though for the most part they are getting rid of over $3 million. So that will help them going down the road, depending on what avenue they try to address this offseason. But nonetheless, very strong move for the LA Kings. Nothing overwhelming, and I expect plenty more trades to happen within these next couple of days. The NHL draft is literally just this Tuesday. I cannot wait. I'm going to be live streaming that entire first day of the NHL draft. I hope to see you guys there. We're going to have plenty of fun, and you can expect a lot more interesting things on the channel leading up to the draft itself, and then NHL free agency towards the end of next week. I believe it's October 9th, which is Friday, if I'm not mistaken. So I can't wait. A lot of things are going to happen over this next week, without a doubt. And I hope that you guys are all here to be a part of the ride on the channel. Thank you all so much for the support, guys. It means a ton to me. Hit that like and subscribe button if you are, of course, new to the channel, like this kind of hockey content. And if you haven't checked out previous stuff, make sure you do. I got plenty of stuff regarding the draft, things leading up to it. My video on the top 10 prospects in this year's draft class, and a long 2-hour mock draft, which was so much fun. Make sure to check that out, among many other things, whether it's trade rumors with the likes of Taylor Hall again, or if it's other things happening. You can expect Wednesday Oliver Ekman-Larsson, if he is dealt fairly soon, I'll be doing a video on that. Same thing with Devin Dubnyk. I will hopefully be able to have a video on that, among other things. But thank you all so much for watching, guys. It means a ton. Check out previous videos down below, and also put in comments your thoughts on the trade. Do you like the trade as an LA Kings fan, as a Blackhawks fan? I would love to hear all your thoughts, regardless of who you're a fan of. Thank you all so much, guys. You're the best, and I'll be back really, really soon.